Hey, what are you talking about over there?
Huh?
I said, what are you talking about?
You know, Bill, I think it's time for both of us to get our hearing checked. We should head over to Christensen Hearing Analytics.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about them. They offer a free hearing consultation and screening, affordable hearing aid prices, and a knowledgeable staff with over 30 years of experience.
Visit Christensen Hearing Analytics today in Williamsburg Village or give them a call at 402-489-3450. Christensen Hearing Analytics. A better life starts with better hearing. The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
When opportunity knocks, you don't want to miss the call. Hamilton Business Technologies makes communication easy and efficient using customized technology, all while putting people first. Whether you're working from the office, at home, or on the go, Hamilton Business Technologies equips your business with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Welcome into The Breeze with DP and Haas on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Canopy Street Market.
All right, welcome into The Breeze. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos, as always, joined by Haas to Breezy. Haas thought I was going to be going solo here for a second. How's it going on this beautiful Sunday? We also bring in the one and only DP joining us as well on this Sunday. So we got a full house in here, and I got to fix my camera. But guys, how's it going on this beautiful Sunday?
What's up, Breezy? I know you can't hear right now, but that's all right, man. What's happening with
I'm good
you?
now. I'm good.
There we go. What's happening, baby?
What's going on, DP? What's going on, Harrison?
Oh, man. Harrison, Haas and I had a little basketball reunion yesterday out here in Virginia, and we got to hang out a bit and top it up and spend time together, and it's always good to get face-to-face with the Breeze. To celebrate
Harrison,
a little
what's
bit.
the weather like over there?
Sucks this morning. It was like 40. I don't know what the hell's going on. The Mother Nature's pulled the rug on me 5 times. Like Charlie Brown.
I think Nebraska is saying it's not 82 degrees and rooftop weather. I think that's what he's saying right now. Sorry to rub it in.
You know, I can't relate. I cannot relate with 40 degrees.
I was on short. Fine, you guys can go.
I'm reading his lips. There's no cherry blossoms going on right now. None of that. No sundresses.
Yeah, it's sunrise. It's sundress weather out here, Harrison. Just cold and miserable.
It's great.
Oh man, Harrison. I feel bad for you. But I'll be there. I'll be there tomorrow, so I can't really, I'm hoping to bring some good weather with me when I come back.
It's gonna be cold here tomorrow, DP.
Yeah, right. Like get out, get out. Just run from it. So yeah, not bad at all.
Speaking of cold, what do you think of Alabama's offense last night?
It was tough. It's a thing that happens with talented teams with uber talented players, and that for the bulk of your season, you can get by on just having the best player do best player things, and you can get away with that even in some tight, high level games. But there are times when, and Haas, we've been in that building when you had the best player who the other team said, nope, you can't beat us. Somebody else is going to have to do it. And all those 2s and 3s that think they're 1s and 1As and 1Bs, bright lights, equal level talent, superb coaching plan, it ends up with a 20-point Duke win. And the SEC put on notice that, look, the SEC has gotten away with some things in this tournament. They've gotten away with some things in the season because they play. It's like Big Ten teams who get found in the tournament because you're used to playing people who are willing to play with you rather than against you. And the SEC, look, if you give me 14 teams, 2 of them should figure out a way to advance, right? Just from numbers alone. But they're going to have to figure out in these critical moments how to get offense, how to get points, and then more importantly, how to play balanced basketball against an elite team. Because all the talent that still exists in the tournament, high-level, elite talent with great systems and great coaches. So Bama took the L for a lot of people last night.
Well, what it reminded me of was the way the SEC plays, and I'm not talking about the 5 through 14 teams that made it. Those top 4 teams, they remind me of a UNLV back in the early 90s. And Duke just has to outsmart them, but Duke also has the length and here's a word, switchability on defense, where they have bigs that can guard point guards. So they have 2, maybe even 3 high-level NBA players that aren't guards on their team. And with that, Malawatch just being able to switch with that 7'5" wingspan and guard guards. Obviously, everyone talks about Cooper Flagg, but just the way that Duke defends to go from 115, 113, whatever Alabama had, to 65, that's all Duke. And so credit is rarely given to the opposition. And in this case, Duke's defense is just superior. They switch so well. They guard 1 through 5 so well. They guard the paint so well. They don't give up second chance shots. Often as a coach, okay, you play defense for 29 seconds and then you didn't get the rebound, so you didn't really play defense. So getting and securing the rebounds and not giving up offensive rebounds is crucial, and Duke does that really well. And they got manhandled in the Elite Eight last year. And this year, they're a completely different composition where they start from the inside out, which most teams don't do anymore. Most teams are all guard-oriented, shooting 3-oriented, and Duke has the guards. Duke has good players. But they decided, let's go get those dudes from the inside first. And so props to Shire for being able to recruit. Props to Shire for composing the right teams, because right now a lot of the coaches are so frustrated with the NILs and just how things are that Duke's learning the system right now.
I'll ask you both, because Harrison, it's the thing that as we pay attention a little bit more, this is where the focus becomes so hypersensitive that I think for Alabama, they had to ask the question, what were they going to take away? Like, what were they going to do exceptionally well against Duke? And I think if you ask that question, right, do you play in a win and survive environment, which is different than any other time of the year? Win and survive means at all costs you make whatever adjustments you need to make. And is it flawed to think that you're simply going to play your way, no matter who the opponent is or the situation? I don't know who Duke's going to end up playing down the road in these next 2 games, next 2 games. But Duke has the ability, one, to play in their rules because there's always an answer. Can that happen for the rest of the teams? Can Florida play that way? I don't know that they can. So in your minds, who of the teams remaining, who's the favorite? Who's most likely to have a plan, stick to the plan, and succeed in the plan? Harrison?
I'm sweating it out. I didn't pick Duke to win it, but if I could go back and
He's saying nobody. He's saying it's all
2020,
Duke. That's what he's
I
saying.
would pick
right
Duke.
now.
But
There's
if I
no
had to
chance.
pick, if I
Play
had
the
to
Vince
pick,
McMahon music.
Otherwise, give me Samson. David and the Goliath story. Houston.
Hey,
is
if
like
it's Auburn, put up a
best
1.
chance.
If it's Florida, put up a 2. For those of you listening and can't see the stream, for some reason, Harrison in studio is having technical difficulties with his audio. So, is it Florida is a 1 with your fingers? Auburn's 2, and then 3 is anyone else except Duke.
It's still Duke.
3. Okay. So knowing him, he has Houston going because he likes their athleticism. Knowing him, he's not
You
picking
guys can't
Michigan
hear me?
State. Not picking Michigan State. Is it Houston?
See, I can hear. See, I can hear Harrison. So that's.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, I can hear Harrison.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. Yeah, it's you, Hoss.
You guys can hear Harrison. Only I can't.
Yeah, I heard him fine. I was like, "Am I bugging? Am I hearing voices? You know, have I gone full Randy Orton? I hear voices in my head, and they sound like Harrison Arns."
So why Houston, Harrison?
Yeah, I say it every year. I would give me the defense. I'm going to pick defense over the offensive teams every time. Defense is a lot more consistent. Samson, he's got that program going, and you can make the argument this is the best offensive team he's had yet over there at Houston. So if there's any chance that you're going to have a team upset Duke that's good enough defensively to slow them down and still good enough offensively, it's Houston. I don't feel super confident though. If I had to go back and pick a winner, I'd probably take Duke to win it all right now.
Hoss, who not Duke?
You gotta be the translator here.
That's the wrong question. So
who not Duke, Hoss?
The reason why Duke will do it, let me explain this. At the end of the game, you want strong ball handlers that can make free throws. Well, Duke showed up 13, up 15 yesterday that even though they have great guards, they have a 6'10 guard. They have a 6'10 point guard who can change height, change speed, and get separation. And so with that, as long as Cooper Flagg's healthy, I don't mean to jinx it, as long as he's healthy, then the Dukies are not going to be beatable. Because if it's a close game and they're winning, they are controlling the free throw line, the free throw game, and the turnovers. There's no way you can trap him because you're going to have a bigger guy on him. If not, if you're going to have guards on him, he could just look over everyone. So it's Duke. I'm not even going to answer it.
Yeah, I just felt like this sports season has been unique in that I kind of felt like there were no super teams, but I still think there are super programs. Like there are still elite coaches who are able to in these moments get their players to make plays. And this is a playmakers Final Four coming up. This is going to be about playmakers. I don't think coaches are going to be able to have the impact on these games like the rest of the season. I think, listen, hot players will dominate the Final Four. It's just that Duke has 4 players who are playing at a higher level than everybody else who has 4 players. Houston has a team who play pretty well. Florida, again, find a way, Florida. Like that's just how it's going to lay out. But I think this is a playmakers Final Four coming up.
Well, it'll be cool. We talked about having multiple SEC teams in the Final Four. Last week, we talked about how Michigan State's not going to be able to pull it out, even though that's the Tom Izzo thing, is to make it to the Final Four. So that's a fun game to watch with Auburn and Michigan State. And then Houston, Tennessee. Tennessee have enough firepower with Dalton Knecht being in the NBA. So that's another thing. If he was still at Tennessee, man, they'd be
would that be fun? Would that be fun? Oh my goodness, right? Like it would change the conversation. Pretty interesting. So who you got? Tennessee and Houston. Who you got?
I just want to see Duke versus 3 SEC teams. Like that would be a fun story.
I don't.
I know you don't.
I don't. I don't want the SEC to get that. Like, I thought it was an impressive year, but I don't want the SEC to have that much conversation about this year's basketball season. And I think for college basketball, like, we don't want the transfer portal to just be a feeder system for the SEC. Like,
Yeah, but what if Duke kicks their butt? What if Duke beats both of them?
Well, but then that changes things. That changes things for the good across the board. If an SEC team, 3 SEC teams make it to the Final Four, that means that you will have at least 1, maybe 2 in the final. And that you get to have this conversation on national television. That the value of mid SEC teams goes above the value of top-level Big Ten teams and Big 12 teams and ACC teams and ACC teams. So how do you want this to play out? For the, we say good for business, right? Is it good for business to have 3 SEC teams in the Final Four? I don't think it is.
No.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
Tom Izzo back there and having him represent the old school way in the Big Ten, that's great for business. And then having Houston come in and just be like, okay, the way we play, we were nobody. We were somebody in the 80s, and then we've become somebody in the last 4 or 5 years. And now we're allowing ourselves to be a powerhouse. So that's the story, is to have and this isn't disrespectful to Houston, but they're not as a big of a basketball school as all these SEC schools.
Having lived in Houston and been around the program, I mean, Kelvin Sampson is in the hierarchy of college basketball coaches. I think that he's not mentioned enough for his ability to accomplish what he's accomplished at Houston. And this takes you all the way back to the Phi Slama Jama era, right? That he did that and got those star players, elite star players, for an epic 5-year run of college basketball to Houston. And Houston has been in the top 10. Look, they've been a steady program, and they're a problem to scheme against. If I would love to see Houston start to get some of the Texas athletes, the A&M athletes at Houston. That's what I would want to see. That's what I'm hoping for.
And I'm not trying to slight Houston. I'm just saying, compared to Florida, compared to just the Big 12's gotten a little bit better with the addition there. Having Kansas always is going to be nice. Kansas having a bad year, fine. Kansas was a 1 or a 2 in the beginning of the year. So the Big 12 is always going to be a top 4 conference. But I'm just trying to say Houston is more like a Gonzaga, regardless of the conference they're in. And Gonzaga is not bad. Gonzaga is a perennial.
That's quite the statement. That's quite the right statement.
Yeah.
Right? That you can't identify 2 other programs that fall in line with Houston and Gonzaga in quality of play during regular season, quality of talent at each position, style of play, versatility of style of play, who aren't a part of the SEC, Big Ten, ACC. I mean, who else is there? Is there anybody else that comes to mind?
Should have been Butler. It should have been them.
Right? Butler
and then they
would
dropped
fall
off.
into that. I thought maybe Creighton.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And Villanova is the North Star.
Yeah.
Villanova is the North Star of that, right? That of that group, right? Outside of
If we're
the Big
including
Two
the Big
conferences.
East, Villanova, UConn. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Who do you have in game 2?
for Houston and Tennessee.
No, Mississippi State, Auburn. Michigan State, Auburn.
Has to be Auburn when you have supposedly the best player in the country. It has to be Auburn. Even though
Isn't that weird that who is the best player in the country in your mind? Like, give me the 5 best players in the country.
Cooper Flag.
Right. Like, but here's the other part, right? that, and I would love to talk the women's game with you as well, because that conversation is an interesting piece. But if you said
That's
to
an easier
me,
answer, by the way.
well, I'm not sure it is.
In the women's game,
Yeah. Right. I mean, what are you? Are you a Paige fan, a Juju fan? Do you love the young lady, the 6'7" big from UCLA that's changed college basketball in full?
yes.
There's any number of 3 at South Carolina that are in the conversation, right? LSU
Don't
has
give away
2
your
players, right, in the conversation, right? TCU has Haley Von Lith. We like to be passive in saying how talented she is, but her numbers, her production are
The
almost
TCU game,
dope.
last game. Yes, was it yesterday?
Yeah,
it was yesterday. It was just
Yeah.
a couple hours ago. She
Yeah.
changed the second half.
Like, I mean, so we national media likes to have this conversation in general terms. But if we don't know who the best men's player is, and we don't know who the best women's player, the name that people remember is just because the name's an interesting name, and we can remember Juju. But the reality is, I'm not sure she's the best college player in California, in Southern California.
No.
Right.
Right.
Like, and I'm not sure that if I'm drafting today from US, I'm not sure I take Juju off that USC team first, because their big is phenomenal. Like, she looks like, okay, she's going to be on Team USA for the next 12 years. But the same can be said for the big from UCLA. So, in the men's game, Cooper Flagg is the name that people will throw out. But if you were having a real draft of college talent, is he the first choice?
Yeah.
I'm not sure his big's not the right first choice.
And so I brought up Malawach. I think he's got a. If I'm the Lakers, and you're gonna hate this, I would rather have Malawach.
Mm-hmm.
Now that goes against how you feel, because you're like, no, I'll take the offensive player that can do everything. But you put Malawach with Luka and Reeves. LeBron's retiring soon, but that's
right. But right, like, to look at that and go, oh my goodness, this is really a thing. Like, this dude is a force. This dude's a force. So I just think that with more eyes on the elite 16 programs, men and women, then finally down to the 8 best programs, men and women, that if you're having the discussion about, I'm not sure that, like you from the text line, you mentioned, the question on Willard, that Maryland has 3 players that fit, like, in the conversation. Like, if you put them all on the court, right? The 3 Maryland players, you go, okay, I'm not sure they're not the most talented players. It also adds, so he asked the question, thoughts on Willard leaving and where does Maryland go for the next head coach? Maryland basketball should be on Villanova's level. Should be. Philadelphia, College Park, Maryland, the DMV, access to talent, resources. You have Under Armour money. Philadelphia has some border schools that will help draw from it, but Maryland doesn't have nearly as much competition when it comes to that. Their competition is national competition. I would hope that Maryland recruits DC, the DMV, better than it does. But now here comes George Mason, VCU, et cetera, et cetera.
And
right?
so my first thought was Tony Skinn.
Right.
Tony Skinn should be Maryland's next coach.
Best access to resources, connected to the shoe programs and the money programs in the DMV. But remember, the Tony Skinn is a name that will draw interest all over the country. All over the country. And I'm not sure that, like, Maryland or Virginia as the area's top program, or is it VCU who just lost? If you lose the coach, and then what do you do, right? But VCU is the Houston of the East Coast, right? That VCU draws. They always have 7 dudes who have length and have that switchability, right? That you talked about,
yeah.
Right? It's the thing. So, Hoss, it's just going to be interesting times, because there's more money being moved around, and Shin is going to make
Tony
bank.
Skin.
He's going to make bank.
Yeah.
Like wherever it goes.
He just got a contract extension from George Mason, so
But the
knowing
but the
that.
buyout is there. And the buyout's not that high. It's not a big enough buyout, bro. Not to
No.
keep Maryland from picking their pocket.
And he has Maryland roots, so
Yeah.
knowing that Tony Skin should be the next Maryland coach. That just
Yeah, I this area has some coaches, some high level coaches. Some of them are looking for jobs. So being head of the program is certainly a thing. So it's going to be interesting times. I do want to get your women's picks when we come back.
Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall. Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
Hi, I'm Jake from Lexington.
I'm Ellen from Ogallala.
My name's Ray from Sydney.
Hello, I'm Jenny from McCook.
Ryan from Lincoln here. And I'm Steve from Omaha.
And we've all got one thing in common.
We all love trucks.
Which means we all want to win one of the 8th grade 2025 Ford F-150 XLT trucks in Trucks and Bucks from the Nebraska Lottery.
So I guess that means we have two things in common.
Well, I love playing Trucks and Bucks.
3 things in common.
And we're all from Nebraska.
Sounds like 4.
And I think the gray color of the trucks this year is beautiful.
5 things. Guys, I just want to go to a Nebraska Lottery retailer, buy some tickets, and start playing today.
There's 6.
I like turnips.
I guess we stop at 6.
Trucks and Bucks, your Nebraska Lottery's most popular scratch ticket is back. Top prize odds are 1 in 336,000. Ford F-150 is a registered trademark owned and licensed by Ford Motor Company.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Tomorrow's leaders are today's students, and great public schools will get them ready. Hi, I'm Tim Royers, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. All students deserve schools with the resources, programs, and curriculum to nurture their curiosity, imagination, talents, and desire to learn. And it all starts with teachers, parents, students, and the community working together to support our schools.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Get ready for spring by joining an evidence-based program to improve your health and well-being. These programs use proven strategies to help you make lasting changes, whether it's boosting nutrition, increasing activity, managing stress, or enhancing wellness. Invest in yourself today and feel your best this spring and beyond. Paid for by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Automotive Solutions is Lincoln's one-stop shop for all your vehicle needs, from vinyl wraps to engine repair and maintenance. Automotive Solutions offers fleet services as well as printing and graphic design for vinyl applications, plus installation of vinyl for boats, trucks, cars, and anything else you want wrapped. Perfection is their standard and they never settle for less. Call today at 531-249-5600 or go to automotivesolutionslincoln.com to learn more. That's Automotive Solutions on 2024 Southwest 5th Street in Lincoln.
Step into healing at Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery. Our team of top-notch medical professionals turns pain into progress with state-of-the-art treatments and compassionate care. Visit prairieortho.com and discover the difference in quality orthopedic and plastic surgery services tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
I'm softball player Jordy Ball, and I'm proud of my Nebraska roots, and I'm proud to be back home. And at Midwest Bank, they're proud to be your local community bank. They believe in family first, taking initiative, showing integrity, and rolling up their sleeves to support their local communities. They treat everyone like family, no matter where you're from. Whether you walk into a branch in York, Lincoln, Norfolk, or Pierce, you know you're going to be welcomed with a smile. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank.
Love is in the air, and so are big savings. It's the Big I Do event at Sartor Heyman Jewelers, South Point Pavilions, April 4th through the 6th. For 3 days only, enjoy 20% off all engagement rings and wedding bands, plus exclusive bridal collections from our top designers. Whether you're saying yes or I do, shop now for the year's best prices and selection. April 4th through 6th, Sartor Heyman Jewelers, South Point Pavilions.
You're listening to The Breeze with DP and Haas on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I'm assuming Harrison Arns is multitasking and has thrown it back to us. You can be a part of what we're doing. Those rules never change. 402-464-5685. Sartor Heyman text line. You can follow on all the streams, Facebook, YouTube, X, and Allo channel 961 in the grand, great state of Nebraska. Appreciate it, Hoster Breezy. Holding it down on the breeze. Breezy, it's interesting times in that both the men's game and women's game are evolving higher and up, forward and up. Like I think that's a fair statement. Am I wrong in thinking that both games are moving forward and up at the same time?
Yeah, I don't know if we're about to talk about the same thing, but what's crazy is 4 1 seeds and 3 2 seeds are in the Elite Eight for both men and the women, and then the other team is a 3 seed. So when we were talking about coaching jobs, typically a coach that made it to the Elite Eight or Sweet 16 or Final Four from a small school gets a nice coaching job, like the Michigan coach May. So we don't have that. All the good teams, all the good coaches did their jobs. And the only one that in the men's tournament, the only double-digit team was Calipari. So that doesn't really count.
Right? Like, oh, no, right where you're supposed to be. Right where you're supposed to be. I mean, listen, if you talk about the women's game that TCU beats Notre Dame, but that's not a surprise. That's not a surprise because transfer portal, talent resources, financial resources did exactly what it was supposed to do down in Fort Worth, Texas. And if you said that, then you said, okay, Texas. Again, program, school, university, community that rally around their sports, financially supported in full, and then they get the desired result. And that, again, in a year where Tennessee's a 5 seed, that's a story, right? And that's a really good Tennessee team. So, and then you talk about, UConn, and quietly the GOAT is just simply doing GOAT things, right? He gets, again, in the discussion of best female players in college basketball, that Paige is absolutely in the conversation and had as good a big game as any big-time player in the country, male or female. I mean, isn't her 40 the other night as good a big-time player, big-time performance in a big-time game as good as any male or female in the country?
I don't know. It was hard to see at the sports bar we were yesterday.
That is not our fault. That is not our fault. No, I mean, has anybody been better? Has there been any elite player who put up a 40 burger in a quality game like that?
Like,
what am I missing?
Clark did.
Like, I mean, Caitlin, but not this year. Not this year.
I mean, yeah. So that's why Paige and Juju are 1 and 2. And with Juju not being a senior yet, like if I'm a WNBA team, Paige is a tall guard. I need someone that could score and pass like that, and she could defend.
I'm going to say this about the women's game. Maybe I'll stir up some people the wrong way, but I'm not sure that Lauren Betts is not the player I pick. If there's a draft of this year's available college talent on the women's side, she's a 20-10, a skilled 20-10. A skilled 20-10. Like how many 6'7" floor running, post up, face up, soft touch, free throw making 6'7" players are there in the country as far as the women's game is concerned?
Yeah, but we always talk about guards in the WNBA.
But we also know that we can look at Brittany Griner and understand that having an elite big changes things and simplifies things for those guards. It's like having a young quarterback, young talented quarterback, and not having a great silverback left tackle to protect them.
Well, UConn's got a couple guards that could play, so
it's fantastic times, man. I really do. I think it's pretty cool that both the games have evolved, and we're in a pretty good spot. I'll ask you this question out of the blue. Is there anybody in Major League Baseball that can compete with the Dodgers? Yeah, that's the facial expression I expected.
People were bragging about the Yankees bats yesterday, and
literal bats, literally the bats.
And
they're using illegal bats.
The first thing that came to my mind was they're not like sports teams aren't dumb. Like they would have done this a while ago. So one, are they allowed to? And two, if just looking at it from a tennis perspective, if you change the head power of your racket, it's going to lead to arm injuries. So maybe they get home runs right now, but there has to be a long-term effect, which is why teams don't do it. So that's just
these are new bats. These new torpedo bats are new bats.
Sure.
They're new bats. I mean, look, and while they are air quotes within the rules, that
they look like a tree trunk.
Bruh, listen to me. If every team in Major League Baseball starts using those bats, first of all,
Ohtani's going to have 125 home runs.
It's going to be like pro softball. It's going to be pro softball. Like you're going to.
Barry Bonds is literally going to be like, "I will DH. Just let me come back."
Yeah, just let me come out there as long as I haven't played the field. Just let me swing bats.
He's going to have the biggest beer belly ever and just hit 128 home runs.
Well, he's in better shape now, so that's pretty frightening. That Barry Bonds is in better shape than he was when he played.
I will pee in a cup every day,
right? Like
it's my own pee.
Yeah, straight from the IV. You can get whatever you want. But I mean, think about that. I don't know. Watching the Phillies for 2 days, watching the Mets, watching the Cardinals. I still don't think that there's anybody, not even the Padres, that can compete with them in the National League and in the American League. If it's not the Yankees, it's not anybody.
Garrett Cole being hurt is a big deal.
It's a huge deal, but that is a 1/3 of the season deal until some team decides that it really isn't going to compete, and it'll give up an ace for future draft picks, and the Yankees are back in the game again. Right, and that literally is the playbook, right? We're not missing any of that, are we?
Yeah, I mean, if Clevenger is still with the Sox, then he's going to be on the Yankees before you know it. So that's a good point.
Look at you Look at them. Like the elites just grocery shopping. Like it's Uber wins, man. Like we're just gonna order. Like we don't have to develop anymore. We're not gonna make any home cooked meals. Hey man, hey Cleveland, send me starting right-hander. Okay, thank you very much.
The problem is for the Dodgers, so they had a lot of injuries last year. So their pitching depth had to really go through it. They probably had 7 or 8 season-ending injuries for their pitchers. Well, the Dodgers have six pitching. Okay, sorry, let me say this again. They're starting 6 pitchers instead of 5 to preserve their arms. And Shohei Ohtani is not even one of those 6. So when he's ready to pitch in May, Dustin May, who's the redheaded Noah Syndergaard, he's going to be moved down to the minor leagues, or Tony Gonsolin is going to be moved down to the minor leagues. And then in the minor leagues, they have 4 or 5 pitchers who would be aces on the Rays, the Indians, the White Sox, but they're 1, 2, 3, and 4 for AAA baseball for the Dodgers. So
yeah,
not only that, their bullpen was their weakness. So then they went and got the 2 best players that were available, and they re-signed Trinan. So they have Yates and what's his name? I can't remember right now, but they signed the guy from San Diego, and they re-signed Trinan. So they just need their starting pitchers to pitch 5 innings.
Major League Baseball, I mean, it is funny that all the leagues are trying to evolve. They're like right in front of us, and most of them are doing a really poor job. Where the game is taking the league where the game wants to go, rather than the league forming the game to go where they want it to be. The Dodgers are the prototype for today's game, and if you can't recruit, retain, and rebrand the way the Dodgers are, you're literally not in their league. I mean, this is crazy. I mean, any of the best new talent coming in, hey, any of the best free agents, hey, you're the Duke of Major League Baseball, and there's nothing anybody can do about it, except if the Yankees decide or the Padres decide, you know what, we're in Southern California too. Maybe we'll spend some money. I don't know. I'm just not sure anybody's going to be able to beat the Dodgers this year.
Tanner Scott was the name. I forgot. Now, the Dodgers could use a center fielder. Their center fielders are not. They're not all-stars.
Ooh.
Tommy Edman is all-star caliber. NL MVP.
That is hilarious.
NLCS MVP, and he's not even playing center field for them. He's playing second base.
They could use another $1 million.
Not $1 million. It needs to be the center fielder from the White Sox. Like they have so many trade chips. This team would beat the Simpsons Mr. Burns softball team by like 15 runs.
Yeah, like this is an interesting year, man. Like I said, that it's just fascinating to me. Anyway, I had to give you your Dodgers moment because it's just there. And in one of these future weeks, we need to get on the NFL draft and try to figure out what's going to happen with that chaos and what your Niners are going to do, what the Commanders are going to do. I have not watched Friday Night SmackDown. And as we head into WrestleMania, I kind of want to get an update on what I've missed and then what I can expect. Right? Yeah. What I've missed and what I can expect. So Haas, we'll go to break. Harrison, we'll come back. We'll find out. Like Haas's WWE WrestleMania recap. What's going on and what he expects to go on. What we know versus what we think we know when we come back to the Breeze.
In the midst of adversity, some are built to run towards the chaos. That's the drive that defines a Nebraska State Trooper. Mission-focused, service-minded, always ready. If you have the drive, we'll help you build a career. Applications are now open to become a Nebraska State Trooper. Numerous career paths, unlimited potential, making a difference for the people in communities all across Nebraska. Apply today at nebraskatroopers.com.
The electrical workers of local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today. At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion, for happier, healthier, furry friends.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Love is in the air, and so are big savings. It's the Big I Do event at Sartor Heyman Jewelers, South Point Pavilions, April 4th through the 6th. For 3 days only, enjoy 20% off all engagement rings and wedding bands, plus exclusive bridal collections from our top designers. Whether you're saying yes or I do, shop now for the year's best prices and selection. April 4th through 6th, Sartor Heyman Jewelers, South Point Pavilions.
Hi, my name is Molly Party. I'm a realtor with MP Dodge Real Estate. I'm a newly licensed agent and considered numerous brokerages before deciding on MP Dodge. I chose the company that gives me the most support in my new career, plus guidance and encouragement along the way. MP Dodge has a unique mentoring program for new agents. It's helped jumpstart my career and has a supportive management team and administrative staff. So if you're contemplating a career in real estate, look no further than MP Dodge. It will be the best decision you make.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln. Take control of your health with the DASH scan at Advanced Medical Imaging. The DASH scan is a full-body MRI designed for advanced health screening. This dynamic approach provides exceptionally sharp images across multiple organ systems, helping to detect potential concerns early. With minimal radiation and no invasive procedures, the DASH scan offers a safe, comprehensive look at your health. Plus, results are delivered faster than ever, giving both patients and physicians confidence in screening and diagnosis. Your health is too important to wait. Schedule your DASH scan today at Advanced Medical Imaging. Visit amimaging.com or call 402-484-6677 to learn more.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
You're listening to The Breeze with DP and Haas on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome into the Breeze. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. I got a feeling Haas, the Breezy, still cannot hear me just by the way he's still looking down right now. Derek Pearson, how's it going?
He had his head down. And he's like, I know. He said, I still have the impression that Haas can't hear me because he's got his head down. And
well, I can report, DP, I'm going to hand you the reins. You when you hear the music, you know what to do. But since Haas, I don't know. Everybody can hear us. Haas just can't hear me for whatever reason. So with that being said, I'll dip out. You guys can wrap up this final segment.
Yeah, we'll go. We'll take it right up to 57. But Haas to Breezy, DP on the Breeze, and it is we are a month plus away from WrestleMania, and the community of wrestling friends tend to share information, and we think a little bit strangely about this thing. So first, Haas, give me a recap on what we missed Friday night.
And Yeah, no. If you're talking about Jokic or anything else, I didn't hear a word you said. So
No. We're literally WrestleMania.
I heard. I'm talking about
Yeah.
Harrison. I didn't hear the
He was just
music. I didn't hear the
laughing.
commercials.
Yeah.
I didn't hear the Starter Heyman text line.
Yeah, no, he's good. He's perfect. He's gonna do his thing. So walking into to Friday's SmackDown, the curiosity between the 6 matches that have been identified in full as matches, and I'm still not sure that all 6 of those matches stay as currently slated, because those 6 matches don't cover everything. So I kept wondering if they would use SmackDown and Raw to introduce some more seeds to plant in the evolution of this thing. Tell me what happened Friday night at SmackDown.
So we talked about it a while ago. The paper's still here from before. Like, how we're going to open and close shows.
Mm-hmm.
This is from like a month ago.
Yeah.
And we said Cody, Cena, Rock, night 2. Assuming Rock's there, even if Rock's not there, that closes night 2. And then whatever Reigns does closes night 1. And so for them to say that CM Punk got his moment, it was emotional between CM Punk and Paul Heyman, and the frustration of Seth Rollins was very good acting. And so it's a triple threat match. They signed it. What they did was they had CM Punk look through the contract, and the tribal chief, the head of the table, was like, what do you just on page 4? Just sign page 4. Why are you looking through the contract? Just sign page 4. And so with that, he said, look, I got it for you. It's in there. We are main eventing WrestleMania. And so the fans were really into it. Paul Heyman was really into it. And CM Punk was really into it. But there's more stories to it, because with it, CM Punk said, this is not the favor that you owe me. And so with that, then there was a lot of friction between CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins. And so there's a lot to talk about just from that angle. We don't even need to talk about the rest, because this might even be the best story of WrestleMania without even having a belt or no belt. This might be the best story. And one of the things I was talking about with Maximus, I don't know if you planted the seed or it's just I watched too much wrestling. Paul Heyman's going to be the story, and Paul Heyman is going to leave with Seth Rollins. Paul Heyman is going to do something that is going to screw over 2 of his boys. That's just, Paul Heyman hasn't been a bad guy for a while, and bad Paul Heyman is way better than good Paul Heyman. So Paul Heyman needs to be the story. You're probably going to say, well, is Brock Lesnar going to show up because it's Paul Heyman? Who knows? I mean, no one's going to argue about Brock Lesnar coming in there and helping Seth Rollins and taking out both those guys. We'll see. The best thing, we talked about this last week, the best thing that's happened for the WWE, they've been overseas, and the crowd has just been so electrifying. The crowd, and I talked about it last week, and I'll say it again because you weren't here. The Toronto crowd ruined the John Cena heel turn. The Toronto crowd didn't realize the moment that was happening. The next 2 times John Cena was on Raw, on Netflix, and he might have even been on SmackDown, it was so loud. It was nuclear. It made Dom and Gunther seem like nothing. Like as it should. It's John Cena turning heel. And he couldn't talk, and he was so mad, and then the story that he gave, the explanation that he gave, I don't know if you saw it, but he explained for the last 15, 20 years, I gave, and you gave me nothing. And I'm just fed up. And this isn't for you. Your time is up. My time is now. And so with that, he embraced the real angle. Like the crowd in those, it's Brussels, and I don't remember the other one, but John Cena sucks. Just for like 30 minutes straight. John Cena sucks. There's no let's go Cena. It's just Cena sucks.
So what? So what? But so you mentioned two things there that lead me to ask the question again. What is the lead? What's on the marquee outside the arena at WrestleMania? What's on the marquee?
So it's interesting if both Royal Rumble winners might not even open the show. I think one of them has to, but they might not. I think the triple threat matches are more entertaining. I'd rather see Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, and Bianca Belair, which it's kind of weird that you have three faces.
Why would you? This has never made sense to me, and it hasn't been explained to me. How in the world is Io Sky in this conversation?
Because she has the belt.
No, but why? Why?
Because Rhea Ripley had a match with her, and she was paying attention to Bianca Belair.
If you gave me a Jade Cargill, Naomi, Bianca Belair, that's a better three-headed match anyway. It's a better match. It's a better story. I don't even know Io Sky. I don't even care about Io Sky. I don't care. I don't care.
The most popular, the hottest WWE superstar for the women's side isn't even in one of those matches. So that's in itself.
Like I don't I keep, so we know that it's not going to be 3 matches a night. So we know that there'll be some other matches. But
there's plenty of matches already out there.
What else is out there?
All right, so we got Gunther and Jay, and
you have 60 seconds. You have 60 seconds.
Gunther, Jay. Then they got Damian Priest and this Scottish Warrior. Then they got RKO and they got Kevin Owens.
That's a part of the 6. So then you have 7 matches so far.
So they have to use the Street Profits. They have to use Liv Morgan.
That's 8. 9. Where's Solo Sikoa? Where
Solo and he's fighting with Umaga. He's fighting with the werewolf.
Jacob
Solo
Fatu.
and Fatu. That's 10.
Has that been announced?
Yeah, they pretty much have been doing it.
I'm Karen Carr. I've been a realtor for 31 years. When I made a company change 12 years ago, I chose Lincoln First Realty, now NP Dodge. It's the oldest independently owned realty company in the country. Since becoming NP Dodge, we've continued our tradition of community involvement. Our management and staff